Deadshot Minotaur, Street Wraith, Force of Will, Demonic Dread, Shoreline Rager, Ardent Plea, Architects of Will, Living End, Monstrous Carabid, and a Drifting Djinn.
Drifting Djinn, huh?
Wow.
Street Wraiths.
Yeah, this is actually just value. This is like the modern deck. I mean, it has Force of Will, obviously, but it's interesting. He's not even Buried Aliving. Although, I kind of want to start testing Buried Alive. That sounds sweet.
Buried Alive actually sounds really sweet.
I mean, I guess you don't really need a Living End, though. You can just reanimate, though, right? I don't know. What's the Reanimator deck looking like? Is it pretty standard? Is it just like one of each of the sweet ones?
Yeah, I mean, he has a much bigger package than you normally see. Like, he has 3 copies of Djinn, Get Ataxius, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, Blazing Archon, Angel of Despair, Iona, and an Elstorm.
Yeah, so he's actually got a wider selection, but he's also got lots of copies of Djinn Gataxias.
Yeah, one thing I'm
surprised by is... A lot of people usually pick Ionas, but... Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, he has this huge package, and there's no access to an Inkwell Leviathan. It seems like something you would want in your huge package.
No, yeah, sideboard has Platinum Angel and the Whispering one, and Sphinx of Steel Wind. Interesting.
Like, I also don't like Whispering one. Like, I've never liked Rhea Dawnbringer in these kind of decks like that.
I don't know if I love Inkwell Leviathan right now, though, just because, like, Iona is generally just better at being that. Not always, I mean, obviously if they have Plow and Jace, but... Alright, so Kevin starts the game off with Entomb. Dan, from the looks of it...
You cycled 2 Street Wraiths?
Cycled 2 Street Wraiths to see if you got a Day of Judgment, or to get a Force of Will. It's interesting. I wonder if Kevin knows what he has. Because if Kevin doesn't know what he has, is there any chance you don't cycle the Street Wraiths because you don't want to give up information for what he's going to go get? No, because he's probably going to go get Iona anyway, like in the dark. Like you just get Iona in the dark against people. So, the interesting thing is that Iona doesn't shut down the... I guess you can name black. And he's on no outs then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he has some other sort of way to entomb, then he can just, like, put a Sphinx and it's over.
This is...
How much damage does Minotaur do?
Not even close. Just 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure the exact text on Minotaur.
No. I guess, yeah, he just doesn't have enough land.
Yeah.
This seems like it's going to be a nightmare for Living End.
Double Minotaur.
Like, a 6. You're getting there.
Sure.
Long has a ton of reanimation spells in his deck. Animate Deads, Reanimates, Exhumes. You know, a lot of people wonder, without Mystical Tutor, you know, what should you replace to fill out the consistency? He's just playing more copies of everything. More creatures to reanimate, more animate spells. And then he's actually cutting down a little bit on the interaction. He's got Daze, Thoughtseize, and Force of Will, but he just has a ton of consistency with tons of reanimate spells, tons of robots or monsters.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't like the first days before I have 4 Thoughtseizes. That's one thing I'm...
And it's actually nice to be able to Thoughtseize yourself sometimes. It actually comes up.
Exactly.
So, it looks like there's a fight going on, or there was a fight over Reanimate.
Reanimate was cast. Dan went ahead and Force of Willed it.
So we're about to see another Reanimate.
Yeah. So
and that's the game.
Reanimate.
Welcome to Legacy.
Oh, he's going to cycle that and look for another Force. No. So Reanimate's going to get Iota.
What do you think the chances are that he figures out to name Black?
I mean, with what you've seen him pitch, he pitched like an Ardent Plea, and then he cycled an Architects of Will.
So you know it's got to be Black, right?
It has to be Living End.
If he just didn't cycle the Street Wraith, maybe he'd think that it was a...
Yeah, I think...
Maybe he would name Blue, which would still probably beat him.
Oh, he named Black. So it's over.
Of course. It is definitely... This is...
So this game is over.
This match is going to be really fast.
Yeah. We will need to get another match into the camera soon for you guys.
So what are we looking at out of the sideboard?
Out of the sideboard, he has. He can't do anything about it. Oh!
He sideboards into Painter Servant Grindstone, right?
Yeah, he can sideboard in Painter Grindstone. Just get him.
And he's got Wipe Away, if that's the right way. Yeah, I think there's no way he doesn't sideboard into Painter Servant Grindstone, because he can never beat Iona. Right? Like, Painter Servant Grindstone always beats Iona. As long as you Painter Servant and don't get screwed by it where you get locked out. Like, you go Painter Servant, everything's blue, and then he goes, okay, Iona blue. Like, you have to Painter Servant when you're ready to do it. It's interesting. Meanwhile, the Reanimator deck,
Kevin Long.
Well,
he can bring in Plats.
He could have Pivot Needle if he anticipates the Painter Servant Grindstone transformational sideboard. Platinum Angel is an option. I mean, I guess it might just like be better than one of the random creatures that he has. I mean, it's not clear which of these fatties. Like, I don't know that he actually needs a Sphinx of Steel Wind, for instance. You know.
When you have Iona and Blazing Archon, I don't know how much any of the other ones really know that much.
And honestly, a ton of these cards in the sideboard are great. Like Shieldred, Spell Pierce,
even Truth is pretty good.
Flusterstorm, Echoing Truth, Thoughtseize, Pivoting. Every single card. His main deck has no bad cards. His sideboard is all good cards, and the matchup is a blowout. Shockingly, the guy with 4 Brainstorms is our pick for this match.
Kevin Long, thing I didn't notice till right now, he is wearing a Protoss sweatshirt. Fellow Protoss, shout out. Protoss, pound.
Dan Nowak is wearing a fellow sports coat.
Yeah.
Sports coat, shout out. Excellent. Be excellent to each other.
Yeah, Kevin with that bandage on his hand. I wonder if he plays a lot. That might be the beginnings of the dreaded StarCraft carpal tunnel.
Oh, see, I was thinking that it's just his brew is too spicy. It's too hot. It just burned his hand.
It's just burned his hand.
You know,
not unreasonable. And Kevin played that game very well.
I agreed with every play he made.
Yeah.
That's the thing about playing these compact formats and these compact games. Sometimes two people are both playing really degenerate strategies, and both of these people are trying to be degenerate. And then they just run into each other. It's just, obviously, one of them is playing a strategy that has been banned before for being too good, whereas the other is playing a strategy that was consistently the 12th best strategy in lower-powered formats. What does Dan need to do?
To win?
To win.
He needs to Painter Grindstone his opponent. Like, the Living End plan will not win. Will not win in this match. Like, if your opponent can Entomb in response to your Living End, like, you can't win.
He doesn't have a lot of ways to find the Painter Servant Grindstone combo, though.
He cycles a lot.
I mean, he can cascade into either half, you know, like you cascade and it always gets one of the two.
Exactly. Right? Like, just like you always hit Wall of Omens or Spreading Seas when you're playing against Jund or something, you know?
You have to name a color when you cascade into Painter Servant if you play the Painter Servant. And then they just Iona
you and lock you with your own Painter Servant.
I think one of the keys
is because his alternate plan is like dead to the combination.
I think that one of the keys is going to have to be his opponent. I think he really needs Long to not draw Entomb. I think Entomb is going to be devastating because I think that if Kevin merely, you know, careful studies away, you know, just an Elish Norn or a Blazing Archon or a Jin Gitaxias, like merely one of those, at least there's counterplay. All right, turn 1 Grindstone.
All right.
This is how it's going to be. Oh, from the looks of it, there's another card. There's another. I wonder if he just naturals it.
Oh, does he just have it?
It looked like there was. Looked like he might. And he's got
with
force
backup. He just has it with force backup. That's what he needs.
Why play Brainstorm? No, I'm not sure he has it. I think he. I'm not. I can't tell if that's actually. It might be a Living End. But Kevin Long. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Thoughtseize right here.
Now, Painter Grindstone decks have been proven to be pretty good.
So it is Architect's Will was the card that we were looking at. So Architect's Will, Force of Will, and Deadshot Minotaur.
He has a Badlands and an Underground Sea.
It's always nice when Badlands gets in the rotation.
Yeah.
That one doesn't get as much play as a lot of them.
Yeah, Badlands is widely considered the weakest of the dual lands.
I mean,
worth less than 25% of some of the other ones.
And that's Grindstone. What do you know? Why not, right?
He just ripped the painter.
He just ripped the painter. Yeah, why not?
Why bother playing Brainstorm? It's already there.
Better lucky than good. I'd rather be lucky than good. All right, Kevin Long. Under the gun. Knows he's facing having no library next turn.
And we named Red. So does he have like Blue Blast? No, he doesn't have Blue Blast.
No, he just doesn't want to turn on his opponent's Force of Will. It's weird though, I don't think red is the natural color to name. Like, maybe it is, because you don't...
So if he has Platinum Angel, can't he still win?
Absolutely. If he produces Platinum Angel this turn... Besides, he doesn't even need that. He could have Terastodon or Angel of Despair.
No.
No, he packs it in. No, he just needed to... Like, if he had Entomb and Reanimate, then he could actually win.
Now, Kevin got unlucky in that game on a number of different levels. So, his opponent hit what was harder than a gut shot.
Let's
and he even thought seized.
Let me make sure I understand. We've played... let's see, that game lasted 2 turns, right?
Yes.
The previous game lasted 2 turns, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going into turn 5 of the match.
Yes.
Just about done.
So I think now Kevin knows that he's going to need to bring these plats, if he hasn't already.
Bring in the what?
The plat. The Platinum Angel.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he would have brought the Platinum
Yeah.
Angel in anyway, but the one that I'm thinking is that he might actually bring in Pitting Needle. Can't be sure, but I think he's got to give his opponent a little bit more credit now, you know, because he was facing... Like, he's got such a strategic advantage with game one, you know, with his A game. And he saw that game that it was only a very, you know, it was an extremely unfortunate turn of events that made that game slip away. And by slip away, I mean, on the first turn it looked like he was winning. On the second turn, the game was over the other way.
I mean, he even had the Thoughtseize. Like, in that first game, if you look at both their opening hands, it's very unlikely for Dan to win.
He definitely seems like a dog. Many people have mentioned 20-sided store in Brooklyn for your New York store convo. No. Yeah, no, and which is a good suggestion. And 20-sided store, from the sound of it, is a popular store in New York. Wonder how far of a commute it is from Manhattan. But it sounds like, I mean, at least it's good that there's good scenes in New York itself. Mm-hmm. You know, because I mean, obviously, you know, the guy in. You know, not everybody who's far away from a metropolitan area has access to good stores like 20-sided, but looks like John Finkel still, like, we have the memo from John Finkel still requesting a good an amazing store in Manhattan proper. I think it needs to serve caviar as well. Is that correct? No.
Fresh beluga caviar.
Absolutely. The rich get richer.
I mean, well, recently, there was a huge snowstorm.
Sure.
Back where I live, and I lost power for 4 days, and you know my entire refrigerator got destroyed as a result. Not the refrigerator itself, but all the food inside of it. So I get to write, I need to write into my power company, and I get a refund off my bill for all the food that got destroyed. So speaking of beluga caviar, vlog joke wasn't really funny. Sorry.
No, is that? Can you really do that?
I mean, I wouldn't do that. That's lying, but...
No, I'm saying the power company. Like, do they give you refunds when your food goes bad?
Because it's their fault and you lost power?
Yeah, but I'd never... Dude, I don't know. I've lost power and lost all the food in my refrigerator before. I've never sued the power company.
Well,
This
I
sounds
never
amazing.
thought to do this before either, and then John Becker told me I could just call the power company because I was complaining about it on Facebook.
John Becker, tax accountant to the stars.
Yes, tax
Absolutely.
accountant to the stars, John Becker.
I've gotten a lot of really good advice from him as well. But yeah, no, that sounds amazing. The next time the power goes out, I am definitely going to call them up and ask for a refund on my fried chicken. I mean, these fried chickens aren't going to walk themselves into the freezer. All right, so the game begins.
Kevin
Long
Long cracks a delta.
I haven't seen his hand, but in the dark, I'm going to guess this time maybe ponder? I don't know, that's the weakest possible, but maybe just entomb, just get out of the way. Who knows?
Close it immediately. Ponder.
Dude, it's a gift and a curse. It really is. So Kevin Long, he takes a look at the top of his deck. He's looking for, most likely, a way to combo off fast, because I don't think he wants to sit around and see what else Dan is capable of. It's very clear Dan is playing some crazy stuff. You know, there's
some weird stuff is
like
going on.
game 1, he led with the Deadshot Minotaur. Game 2, he transitioned smoothly into Painter Servant. So, I mean, he's a man who's capable of anything.
Like, Kevin Long right now is worried that his opponent is going to cast a turn 1 Nomad Senkor. That's
I got a question for you.
that's
Why do
the
you,
level of confusion.
why do you play Living End instead of Hypergenesis?
I mean, because you want to be, you want to stay fair against Graveyard Hate, right?
It just seems like your thing is at least a turn. You're like a turn slower at the very least, and half as powerful, and you open yourself up to twice as much hate.
Yes. All right, so Dan's going to go ahead and cycle a Deadshot Minotaur.
Although it is sweet that this is the 3-0 table.
Yes.
I'm hoping that there's something just about Las Vegas that gets people playing nothing but sweet decks.
Gamble, gamble.
No gamble, no future. Here comes the Grindstone.
All right, Grindstone resolves.
Kevin still does not have access to Entomb. As we said, his deck is just not. It doesn't function nearly as well without the
Mystical
best
Tutor.
Yeah, without Mystical Tutor to go find Entomb. It looks like he's really flooded. Not sure what his game is here, because he's got a lot of land in his hand, and he knows he can't just sit around for very long. Very unclear what they're debating.
I think Kevin is trying to get up to 8.
Yeah, he is. He is at 8, and he's just going to discard.
Yeah.
And did he discard Jin Gataxius?
Yes. That's completely reasonable.
Absolutely. It's interesting. He had the choice of Iona or Jin Gataxius, and he chose Jin Gataxius.
That's fine. I mean, when you know your opponent has the Painter Grindstone,
And they've already got the Grindstone
they
down.
already have the Grindstone and they don't have the Painter. Like when they're going Painter second, then Iona's not like Jin Gataxius just empties out your opponent's hand and makes
And
you
you draw
draw
7.
Force of Wills.
Yeah. And lets you, presumably, next turn make the Iona.
Yes.
Have you ever just cast Jin Gataxius
Yes.
in any format? Dude, that's on the bucket list. Like in a sanctioned play, like in a tournament.
Yeah. Sealed.
That's
Why was
beautiful.
I even playing it?
That's beautiful.
I mean,
No,
if you
dude.
open it, you have to. Right?
No, you don't. I've opened it and I've gotten away from the Jin Gataxius
It was a
somehow.
pre-release. That's why.
Oh, okay, there you
Come
go.
on.
No. If it's a pre-release, there you go.
I was there for the funsies.
All right, we're gonna see Jin Gataxius this turn. I wonder if he actually grindstones himself because he still has a living end somewhere and he just values. Maybe not. He certainly doesn't grindstone his opponent.
Yeah, grindstoning your opponent before the servant is not what you want to be doing.
Not against the reanimator deck, that's for darn sure.
So,
Jin,
I mean, he's going to want to go ahead and just animate dead right here, right now.
yeah.
He doesn't know how Like, his opponent hasn't really been playing around things at all, so it's not like he can bluff, sort of. What's his opponent doing? His opponent's cycling, looking for a force of will. What was that he just drew?
Blue card. Cycling Drifting Djinn.
Drifting Djinn.
Yeah. It's a big flyer, but it just has an upkeep of 1 and a blue, but it also cycles.
It's from Saga?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like Modi, but you can cycle it to get the card, or just pay the upkeep later. So, looks like we've come to the end of the line.
Yeah, there's no force of will in Dan's hand, so Kevin gets an Animate Dead, and now on his end step, there are going to be a lot of cards in his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now Dan needs to hope that Kevin blanks on these 7, and then
So convenient that Jin-Gitaxias is an enabler for the second reanimation.
now it's always good to play more fetch lands than dual lands in your legacy decks because you want to get maximum value out of your brainstorms, but it also just makes your mana better in general. Like here we're seeing Dan doesn't have wipe away mana because he's chosen to play significantly more. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's playing
raw.
4 Underground Seas, 4 Badlands, 2 Tundras, 2 Volcanics, 1 Scrubland. I mean, that's 13 dual lands, actual dual lands, and only 8 fetches. I got to imagine that you could afford to trim like at least 4 of those dual lands.
All right, now he's got an Ardent Plea here. He's gonna go ahead and cast that.
So before he loses his hand, there's the Painter. Kevin does not have Force of Will. He has Daze. Does he have 2 Dazes? He does.
Yes.
That's brutal. It's going to be the game. I mean, presumably he'd be able to reanimate, Angel of Despair anyway, but doesn't make it any less painful. Let's see. On the upside, his creatures have Exalted. Or no, the Ardent Play has Exalted, so his
Yes.
creatures get +1 for attacking.
You know, that's something I really liked doing with Bloodbraid Elf. It was like a Vengevine. You flip the Ardent Plea.
Get in there for 4. Haste it.
Yeah. And you draw a card because you're spreading seeds in their land.
Sure. Pithing Needle.
Name and Grindstone.
There will be no survivors.
Yeah, this is the end of the line.
We're up to turn 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, this went kind of deep.
Yeah, I mean, this is longer than the other 2 put together. Well, Dan needs to draw, I guess, what? I mean...
I really don't know what. Couldn't they just unban Worldgorger Dragon as a quick aside to fill this time while Kevin's just winning?
Couldn't they? Yeah, but
it'd
it's
be
one of
too
those
good.
things. No, I don't think it'd be too good, but it's one of those things. I do think Worldgorger Dragon should be unbanned at some point, but it's like... It's not exactly at the top of the list to unban, because it's like... It's
Nobody
not...
really cares, kind of? Or...
It's not healthy if it's healthy. Like, even if it's okay, then it's not actually good enough, right? Like, nobody ever uses Worldgorger Dragon for anything other than ruining everything for everybody. It's like Golgari Grave Troll in Modern. Honestly, you could probably allow Golgari Grave Troll in Modern. You probably could. But why would you want to? Now,
That's
the
fair.
purist in me does want to see every card that's possible unbanned, but I definitely think you want to start. You want to work your way to Worldgorger Dragon. You know.
I'm just looking at Jin-Gitaxias here, and I can't really imagine people do Worldgorgering. Like, if they could be casting that spell.
Oh, for sure, no, and I don't think it'll be long. I think the Worldgorger will be back within 2 years. The bigger fish to fry is Vintage.
Yeah.
Like you ever? Yeah, I'm sorry. As
we'll
a
go
quick
back to
update,
this.
Jin Gataxias is still in play.
Yes.
Kevin Long still has all of his cards and complete lock over the game, and Dan still has no chance to win.
Yes. Kevin Long has multiple Force of Wills at this point, I'm sure. Right? He has at least one. Well,
I
his
mean,
opponent's
he's
just
drawn
playing off the
24
top.
cards.
So he has multiple Force of Wills and enough blue cards for all of them at this point. There's no chance of Dan winning this game. It cannot happen.
Okay, so if he draws a... No, he doesn't even... There's a
Kevin
single
can just-
dismember in his sideboard. He could have boarded in the dismember. He could dismember the Jin Gataxias, and his opponent, Kevin Long, could have no Animate Deads,
Well, he has Force of
Reanimates,
Wills in his hand.
Exhumes, Force of Wills.
He has this, though. So there absolutely is not a way. And Kevin can even, like, at this point, with what he has access to, like, next turn he'll probably have a Platinum Angel in play, and then Force of Wills with an opponent playing off the top.
So what would you like to see unrestricted in Vintage?
Brainstorm? I have not, I've not played a Vintage tournament since I cannot play for Brainstorm. And I
Kevin
will
Long
not.
is the winner. Dan packs it in. It is 2-1 in favor of Kevin Long with Reanimator over Dan Nowak playing Living End.
And Kevin Long's list looked pretty sweet.
Absolutely. But no, with Vintage, I don't know. I think there are a ton of cards that can be unrestricted. Regrowth is the top of my list. SCG Live is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, producers of the world's most advanced Magic the Gathering app, SCG Mobile. The app is now free, and you can start accessing StarCityGames.com content from your iPhone instantly. Beyond the basic options, a simple in-ad upgrade of $4.99 unlocks an ad-free experience and expanded functionality, including live pricing, player profiles, and premium content access with an existing account. For more information, visit www.starcitygames.com or search for SCG Mobile in the App Store. Definitely recommend it. Can't wait. Dude, got a BlackBerry. I know you said you have a Droid.
Yeah.
The people I talked to with mobiles have actually been very, very, very happy with it, you know?
Yeah, Brad has an iPhone, and when we were in the booth and we were advertising it, he actually downloaded it while that was happening, and then we were playing with it in the booth, and it was awesome.